All right. Welcome to the show. This is Talk Real Solutions. And I'm your host, Tyrone Thompson. I want to thank you for tuning in to the show. Real Solutions. And I'm your host, Tyrone Thompson. I want to thank you for tuning in to the show. Today is
I don't know where you get this from. It's just amazing to me that I don't know what it is about the descendants of slaves having dark skin born in America. We as a people, we love to believe in stuff and we become loyal to that stuff. And if only we could become loyal to the truth. Loyal to fantasy. Every day on social media, I find some new stuff these so-called black people have learned. Everything except reality. Something in fantasy fiction and la la land. And wow, just something to believe in. Believe in everything except yourself. Man. Well, anyway, there were 2 points that I heard in this particular video. And I could tell you who the video was by, but it really wouldn't make no difference because I'm pretty sure this person isn't the only one who says this and believes that these people, y'all supposed to be so intelligent, but clearly I just don't get it. Anyway, point number 1. In the video, the person who was speaking was trying to make a point, and they was trying to compare, what was they trying to compare? Something, death with childbirth. That's what they was doing. They were saying that when a woman has a baby, she actually dies. You know, she goes through the pain. It's just like the pain of death. What is wrong with this statement? A woman having a baby, she suffers the same kind of pain that you feel in death. What's wrong with that type of statement? Now, a long time ago, when I was a child and really didn't think that clear, and I just accepted what my elders said because I was a believer. I didn't think for myself. I wasn't logical. I just let anybody say anything, basically. Well, I'm not going to say that. I take that back. I'm not going to put myself down like that because I really didn't. I just knew something was wrong. I just couldn't put the hammer on the nail. What's wrong with this? How can a woman feel the pain of death during childbirth? The problem, brothers and sisters, friends, associates, even enemies, the problem with this statement is that the dead does not feel pain. What person you know that have died and describe their pain when they died? So it does not make any sense. So since there's no description, there's nobody who has actually experienced this, how do you know that this woman, the same kind of pain she feels during childbirth, you would feel during death? You have fingernails on your hands. Your nails are dead. When you clip them, what do you feel? The only time you will feel anything while clipping your fingernails or your toenails, if you go in a little bit too deep and you hit something that is alive. The dead does not feel pain, so there is no pain of death. If you are dead, you could not have an autopsy because the person who is dead would probably be screaming, "You cutting all? What are you doing?" The dead cannot feel pain. If you could feel pain and you're deceased, then you are not dead. Simple as that. So what is being said does not make any sense. And how can you have the pain of death when you bring it in life? The pain of life. Bring it in life. You don't know nothing about the pain of death. Nobody knows. You don't feel anything. The statement does not make any sense. I don't know how else you can twist it and flip it around. Dead means dead. When they numb your mouth, when you go to the dentist, they deaden the nerves. They deaden your jaw. So you don't feel nothing. So it's dead, people. Oh my God. Woo! You're going to be slaves forever. Then another statement this same person made in this speech, and I've heard this person say it over and over again, and nobody says anything different. And I'm pretty sure you've heard this over and over again. It's common, just like the pain of death is common, that you live through your children. How can you live through your children? When they put us in the ground and your children are on top of the ground, how are you living through your children? Well, the DNA, and that's your sperm and the egg. Really, the sperm and the egg don't belong to you. You're just a carrier. You and I eventually go into the ground. You are not going to live through your children. How arrogant and self-righteous you are. You're not going to live through your children. You're not going to live through nobody. If that's the case, how could you be dead? Why are you dying? Why are you in a casket? Why are you cremated? Your children on top of the ground, you are under the ground. How are you alive? My father and I, we are nothing alike. How is he living through me? He is not living through me. My father is now deceased. He is under the ground. At this time, I'm on top of the ground. He is not living through me. Believe this. We are nothing alike. Nature does not care anything about you as an individual. Nature only cares about a species of animal, species of a life form. Does not care about you. My name is going to live through my children. My name is Johnson. My name is Muhammad. My name is... Nature does not care who you are. Sooner or later, eventually, it would die. It would die out. Nature does not care. Nature cares about black people. Not Ali, not Johnson, not Redneck, not T-Bone. All these, whoever you're going to live through your children. You're not going to live through nothing. That's your own belief thing that y'all got going on. I'm going to live through. That's not going to happen. You as an individual will die. You are the only one of your kind, and once you're gone, that's the end. Your son is not you. Your daughter is not you. We all come into this life alone, by ourselves, and we will go back to where we come from, into the space of this universe alone. Family, these are survival tactics that nature develops, because it's easier for a woman and a man to take care of their child than a woman by herself, or even a male by herself. And then you gather your uncles and your cousins, and if you build a strong family, your survival, your chances of survival, it increases, and it's easier on you than being an individual or being two or three, and so forth and so forth. Has nothing to do with you, with your immortality. Nature does not care about your name. Oh, my name is Taalik Ibn'rad, and I'm going to pass that name. You can pass that name on, Ibn'rad. You can pass that down to your children and your relatives. But in nature, it means nothing. And that's just the reality of things. It means nothing. Nature does not care about that. So we are being, perhaps it was not intentional, but we're not being told the truth. You do not live through your children. You cannot feel pain in death. If so, with the dead person, the deceased, would you please come before, is anybody around that's deceased or whatever? Could you come in front of these people and tell them how the pain of death that you felt? Because clearly, if you felt this pain, you wasn't dead yet. And clearly, if you're going to come on this camera, you still have not died. Woo! Black folks, come on now. We are so... I don't get this. Are y'all really this dense? And then some of you dare come to some of my videos and dare you want to try to argue with somebody whose mind is 1000% liberated. I question everything. I will not be your slave. I'm not going to be your follower. I don't want you to be no follower of mine. I want around me self-thinkers. I want people around me who can help solve problems. If we all think in the same kind of way, how can we solve the problem? What can you bring to the table? It's not about what I can bring to the table, but what we can bring to the table. So alrighty then. Are we back? Are the lights on? Are the lights on again? I'm not going to go through my normal introduction to the video. I just want to go ahead and start. This subject is so funny to me. People on the internet are just, you guys are just mind-boggling. You're very funny, but it is expected from you who are not only the descendants of slaves having dark skin born in America, but so many of us, in fact, the majority of us, we are, and I'll call you dark Europeans. And a dark European is just basically one of us, so many of us that have dark skin, and you can't help it because we were born into this society, into this civilization, void of a history of our own, so we copy Europeans. So I call us dark Europeans. And we refuse to seek an identity outside of what our slave masters and their children have given us, thus dark Europeans. That's what we are. The subject that I've chosen for these few minutes is about a dark European, or dark Europeans plural. But of course the title, I would hope that it would attract some attention. And I put the man's name in the video on purpose, like he puts people's names in his videos, and he says certain things and titles to attract attention to his video. So yes, I use Tommy Sotomayor for views. Okay, now that that's out the way, and I confess that, woo, then let me go ahead and continue our discussion. Actually, this video is more than about Tommy Sotomayor. It's about a certain mentality, a certain mindset, not only by him, his followers, popular YouTubers like Painless Risen and David Carroll, and probably some others that I don't know anything about, and I guess it's pretty good that I don't know about them. So, well, anyway, Tommy Sotomayor, stop playing victim. Now, you may think that I probably want to talk about when Tommy gets into these beefs and these go back and forth ethers or whatever you call them, and he gets into these debates with people or conflicts with people, and they go back and forth, and a lot of times Tommy feeds the beef. He actually he calls. There's nothing civil about it. It's about name calling back and forth, who can embarrass who and whatever. And when Tommy gets the bad end of the stick, then he wants to play victim. You will see Tommy make a video. I don't know why they done this to me, and we should all be brothers and sisters. And oh wow, come on now, y'all have to give the man credit. He's an actor. He's an entertainer. Come on now. But now his little beef has, I guess he feels he's messed with the wrong person, and his life might be, might be threatened, might be, somebody might be wanting to hurt him. And this recent thing with himself and Styles of the People's TV, peace to Styles and the brothers and sisters in Chicago. Tommy said, and he's just made a video, look, I'm no longer talking to black people. These black YouTubers, no, I will no longer talk to them. Well, I don't have a problem with that because he never tried to talk with me. And I can guarantee you, Tommy, that I would never threaten your life. I would never try. I stick to the topic. I don't care about your personal life, your child support, you beat women or whatever you've done personally. Well, the beating women part, that's different. You know, that's a topic in and of itself. You know, so we know we might have a debate and conversation and discussion on your wanting to beat up on women. Because if you beat up on women, you should want to beat up some men. Why are you scared for your life now when a man threatens you, but you don't have no problem when it comes to women? You know, that's a topic in and of itself. But that's not what I want to speak about in reference to Tommy Sotomayor. Like I said, it's a mindset. It's not Tommy personally. It's a mindset, a mentality that comes from Tommy Sotomayor and those dark Europeans who follow him. Again, David Carroll and Painless Risen. They all have this mindset. It's others out there too. And let me tell you about this mindset. And whether they like it or not, this is the reason why they opinion the way that they opinion. And least to say, at the root of it, again, is that we were born into racism. And the only example of a man, the only example of a leader, the only example of strength that we've ever known really is the racist. So it is no shock to me that you would do everything in your power to avoid condemning the only man you ever known. Also, the problem with a person like Tommy Sotomayor or Painless Risen and a David Carroll, the problem with their opinion is that their opinion becomes biased. And Tommy Sotomayor and David Carroll, both of them confess that they've had problems with certain women in their lives. And you hear that prejudice and you hear that bias. And so they paint all or the majority of women, especially black women, like the ones who they felt done them wrong. And of course, that is not fair. That is not. So your opinion is biased and your opinion is prejudiced. And so it should be rejected. But there are many who have been hurt by women who feel the same way. So you attract those who are unfair, who are biased, who are just as prejudiced as you have become. I have about 4 minutes. Let me say this very quickly. There was a scene in the movie Tina Turner, the Tina Turner story. Anyway, we know about how she was in an abusive relationship with her husband, Ike. Now, there was a scene. Ike Turner, Lawrence Fishburne, had just beaten Angela Bassett, who played Tina Turner, had just beaten her up. And she was in her bedroom, and one of her friends came to the bedroom to comfort her, knowing that Ike had just beaten Tina up. And the friend was trying to say, you can't allow this to continue, going through this abuse. And Tina told the friend, now listen now, Tina told the friend, he's under pressure. He has all these records that he needs to produce, and he took this money he needs to pay back. It's a lot of stress. So because Ike is under stress, that justifies him beating up on Tina. See, that's the key. That's an abusive relationship. In an abusive relationship, this relates to individuals like Ike Turner and Tina and many other people, even some men who have been beaten by women. Anybody in an abusive relationship, children abused by their parents and so forth, you should be able to relate to this. Now, children, husband and wives in abusive relationships, this not only relates to individuals, but this can also relate to a people. you make excuses for your abuser. So you hear out of the mouth of Tommy Sotomayor, because he's grown to have a hatred for black women and his own people, and you see that in David Carroll and Painless Risen, you see that they have a bias and a prejudice against their own people because they have a love for their abuser, the abuser of us as a people. And so they make all kinds of excuses that flip the script and try to make the victims like they deserve to be beaten. So Tina Turner, out of her own mouth, made up an excuse to protect and defend and justify her beating, her exploitation by Ike Turner. Ain't that something? Ain't that something? She did not realize until years later how sick she was. These men, Tommy Sotomayor, David Carroll, and Painless Risen, many of you get so angry at them, but they come from out of an abused people. And when you suffer abuse and your only example of manhood and your only protector, Ike still was Tina Turner's provider and protector, but he also was an abuser. So the Caucasian, the racist Caucasian people, they can be your lover, they can be your protector, they can be your provider, they can be all these things, but when it's all said and done, they are your abuser. And most of you would tell a person in an abusive relationship, you should leave that relationship. But in this situation, most of these people would tell us we need to learn how to get along. And we make excuses. Every time a black man is shot down in the street, David Carroll and Tommy and all these other people, they will explain to you why that black man deserved to be shot down in the street. I was locked up unjustly for 10 years. I'm very sure that Tommy and Painless and all these other guys, they will find some kind of way to show that I deserve to be locked up. However, in my case, I can show you with their own writings, I can prove, and I will be easily able to debunk anything they say. But that don't mean they won't try. That's the way it is in an abusive relationship. So should we really be angry at Tommy or David or Painless and Jesse Lee Peterson? There's others. Should we really be angry at them? They are victims. And then they'll turn around and tell us we need to stop being victims. You are the victim. That's why you speak the way you do. Yes, I am a victim. I can accept that. And since I can accept being a victim, then I can work on getting out of this abusive relationship while you seek to stay in that relationship because you feel it's safer being with the abuser rather than other victims. And yes, it's very difficult being with other victims because the victim may not lash out at the abuser, but the victim will lash out at other victims. And that's what you see on YouTube and social media day in and day out. Black folks, dark Europeans attacking each other, going back and forth. And that energy should be directed toward the real abusers, the real exploiters. But that is the mind of our people. Our people are sick. We are victims of abuse and exploitation. Many of us, like poor Tina, did not realize that till later on. Some victims remain victims till the day they are laid to rest. And sometimes that's because the abuser decided to kill them. I want to say and make very clear that I do not hate the Nation of Islam. I don't hate Louis Farrakhan. I don't hate Nuri Muhammad. I don't hate Sister Ava. I don't hate nobody in the Nation of Islam. I don't dislike anybody. However, just like you say that you have a mission, I have a mission also. My mission is to bring to us real truth. The problem with our relationship is that you believe you already have the truth. But clearly you don't, because you cannot do nothing with me. There are little guys running around. They want to defend Mr. Farrakhan and the Nation of Islam. You have no idea. I want the big guns. You can't do nothing with me. And I will show you that even your big gun, although he commands thousands of people to listen to his voice, that's beautiful. But you're going to feel very, very, very little when you finally face the man in the mirror. I am the man in the mirror. And you think that you are above the mirror. You think that you're above being held accountable. You think that you are above being questioned. You think that you're the only one who can ask questions and expose people and bring them out. Don't you have skeletons in your closet? Don't you think that you do things that's incorrect and wrong? But you want people just to overlook your flaw, overlook your error because you're pretty. Well, I think I'm pretty beautiful myself, or handsome, or whatever. Should anything I do of wrong be overlooked because I can talk pretty well too, and I'm pretty handsome myself? Should that be overlooked? Should I be overlooked for my error and flaw because I can speak well and say some pretty stuff? No. There is nobody, I don't care who you are, that is above being questioned. There's nobody, I don't care who you are, that should not be held accountable to us, especially when we're giving you our money, when we're giving you our time, when we're putting our faith in you because you say that you can do this and that, and clearly you can't. I love the Nation of Islam. That's where I come from. If it was not for the Nation of Islam, I would not exist today. And I will say that very clear. I give credit where credit is due. If not for the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, I would not be speaking with you. If not for Wallace Farad Muhammad, I would not be speaking with you. If not within modern times, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan and his example, being able to actually work with him, I'm very happy that I was able to be right there with him and watch how he handled people and how he talked and how people how to interact with folks and things of this nature. I love that. I love my experience with the nation. But just like your Bible says, when I was a child, I spoke like a child. But now I'm an adult. I'm an adult now. I have my own mind. I see things myself. I'm not dependent upon you. I'm not your slave. I'm not your robot. And that's something that Elijah Muhammad did teach. He taught it in that little book, Fruit of Islam. I don't make robots. But because I believe in you, I'm supposed to be a robot for you and a slave for you? I don't think so. That's not what you taught me, sir. And I'm not going to do it. When you see thousands of people come to Savior's Day and thousands of people come to the mosque in Chicago and to the mosque all over the country and around the world to the Nation of Islam, that's a beautiful and wonderful thing. That's nice. And it looks like you got it going on, but really you don't. Because you have been at this for at least since the 1980s, and you really don't have nothing to show for it except a good talk. That's all. And the illusion that you have done something when really you don't. You know, if you have done so much, then describe it. And you really don't describe it, and you really don't talk about it because it's really symbol with no substance. When you have had millions and millions of dollars, many people help you, but you really don't have it going on. But you want people to continue to follow you. That's vain and it's arrogant, and it's self it's self-destructive to yourself and to the people whom you claim that you're trying to help. When you need to sit back and allow new blood, new creativity, new life come into the struggle, and you're still trying to hold on because you want people to look up at you, follow you. Follow you for what? To get what? You get nothing. Elijah Muhammad said, why do the Negro love the white man? Because the white man gives them nothing. Why are we looking to the nation of Islam? Because the nation of Islam is just like the white people now. All this talk and lip service, but you're not really getting nothing out of it. They just make you feel good. I don't want you to feel good. I want you to be good. I want you to have good in the real sense, not just feeling good. One of the reasons why you can't be great and you will never be great, and eventually your organization will fall again, never to be seen again, because you don't want to admit and confess your flaw and error. And until you become man and woman enough to admit and confess your flaw and error, the people really will not support you no more. You run around crying, they don't want to work with us because they said we killed Malcolm. Why don't you deal with the situation once and for all? Show remorse. Show the people that you know that you're wrong. Louis Farrakhan said that he understands that his rhetoric, his talk, created the situation that caused Malcolm to be assassinated, but you don't really see no remorse from him. There's no type of tears. There's no type of sadness. Louis Farrakhan called that man a hypocrite, worthy of death and all this stuff for years. Then all of a sudden, I want to put this out here and try to make amends with the Shabazz family. It was sickening. But Miss Betty, because she had a good heart, she tried. But she did not feel no remorse from Farrakhan, and none of the daughters, anybody. They don't feel nothing from Louis Farrakhan because you too arrogant, you too big shot. You can't apologize. You can't shed tears because you can't shed tears for Malcolm because you really wanted that poor man dead. And who caused it all? Your leader. And you don't want to confess. Elijah Muhammad was wrong in what he done. If Elijah Muhammad wanted all these wives, then just teach that. But you didn't. You kept it hidden and it was a secret. Matter of fact, that makes me question Louis Farrakhan, because Louis Farrakhan says that he sits in the seat of the messenger. And if Elijah Muhammad had secret wives and children, I wonder, do Louis Farrakhan have secret wives and children? I heard in the rumor mill, I heard that he does have outside children outside of Sister Khadijah. In the rumor mill, but it's not up to me. I don't spread gossip. That's what I heard. And it's probably true because you want to be like Elijah. And that's what caused the whole thing to begin with. There are a lot of ministers and a lot of people who have stole money from other Muslims, lied on other Muslims, all kinds of things that has happened in the nation. And there's no apology because you're too big shot. And when somebody like me leave the nation, I'm a hypocrite. Although I did help you for years, you won't do nothing to help me. I did help you. So who's the better person? I did help you. So why don't you help me a little bit? At least give what I say, listen to what I say. And if I write you a letter, and if I call you on the phone, at least give me the respect to at least talk to me. What you afraid of? See, I fear nothing but God. That's cowardly. It's cowardly. There are many brothers and sisters out here. If there was somebody out here who really helped me do my work, I will not turn away from them. My house is always open to them. What is it? I understand we had a falling out, but you know what's going on. We are still brothers and sisters in this struggle. I have had nobody like that. Nobody has given me money or time or nothing like that. So there's nobody out there that can come to me and say, well, I did. Then it can't happen, because I would always have a place for you in my heart, regardless to how you thought about what went down with Malcolm. Because of what Malcolm did for the nation, you should always have a place of love for him, but you don't. And until you do, the only thing you're going to get is symbol without substance. The only thing you're going to get is a feeling of being Mr. Great. That's all you're going to get. That's all I see. I don't see anything happening with the nation of Islam. It's just not, because you don't want to confess your sins. You want the Jews to confess their sins. You want the Christians to confess their sins. You want everybody to confess their sins and their errors and their flaws, except you. You are above all these things. You are the great. But when somebody come and show you that you're not as great as you think that you are, now you really got a problem. Because now I sit in the place you was. You was the one that went around judging people. You was the one telling people you're wrong this and you're wrong that. Now somebody with a wisdom higher than yours is telling you the same thing, and you can't handle it. I can confess my sins. I can confess anything that I have done of wrong, and I can offer anybody a sincere apology. In 2009, I didn't do anything to people who were flagging my pages and talking about me, but I got them together. We had a little confab, and it was all squashed. Then Google decided, we'll deal with you personally. Because I was making friends with all those people who didn't like me. When they sat down and really talked to me, we squashed whatever difference that we had. Google couldn't handle it. And my pages and my channel was growing not only in America, but people was calling me and all this all around the world, and it continues to this day. And slowly coming right back to where I was. And pretty soon, you will be replaced by Allah, by somebody like me. Well, back again. You know, or perhaps you don't know, but I'm pretty sure many of us do know that dark-skinned people were conquered by the racist European, Caucasian, pink people. We know this. And one of the reasons that the racists gave in order to justify what they done to dark-skinned people were that, well, some of y'all know that they use the Bible. We are the cursed progeny of, I believe, Ham, because Ham was the son of Noah, and Ham saw his father naked and drunk. This is a prophet. The prophet was naked and drunk, and the prophet cursed his son black. And black represents servitude to those other than black. And of course, they created this race thing. They are the white people, we are the black people, and these others are the Asian people, Mongoloids and Kasakoids and Negroids and all these oids. But they justified their actions against dark-skinned people with the Bible. It was approved by God. And another thing is that as far as they were concerned, the dark-skinned people were considered savages, running around here with a language they did not understand. And most of all, these savages, they dancing and whatever, running around naked, running around in the jungle, they say. Some of us, they said, had tails swinging through trees. I'm very sure many of you have heard these stories. Wow. So, what is ironic is that we are the ones who are savage, and they are the ones who were civilized. And I was taught as a student of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, we were taught that it is the duty of the civilized man to bring civilization to the savage. So the only thing that the Caucasian people were doing was taking Elijah Muhammad's advice. So why is Elijah Muhammad all angry and upset and mad about it? We only did what you said, sir. We are the civilized people. And we saw that you guys were savages in the jungles, having no real God, having no real language, running around, no clothes on. And we took you off. Well, you went through the slavery thing, okay. My bad. But in the end, we civilized you and gave you the Lord Jesus Christ. And haven't you or your race improved since getting Jesus in your heart? These are the civilized people talking. And they have not changed even until 2000. Where's 2000 at? 2016. Now, what is very ironic about this whole situation, considering that many of you have become comfortable in a slave-like condition, and you look like you're happy that this was done to us. Looks like it. Because if you were dissatisfied, if you were unhappy, we really don't show it like we should. But what is ironic, this topic is not about us, it's about them and what they've done. The them are the racist, Caucasian, pink European peoples. That's what I'm talking about. The ones who started it all. The ones who call people savages, dark-skinned people savages. You say that we are savage because they had no clothes on. We are the civilized people, we wear clothes, and these savages run around naked and dancing and so forth. Who is more naked than Europeans? You even have nudist colonies. 24 hours a day, you have your Caucasian women and some of your men now running around on TV, in magazines, with the little thong string between your butt cheeks, what little butt cheeks that you have. But I thought that made somebody a savage who wants to run around nude, who's running around nude. I thought that what makes you savage. And you are in your clubs naked or half naked, getting drunk out of your mind, getting behind your car, killing people. You say that we swing through trees, but yet and still, one of the fantastic things, one of the most wonderful things y'all like to do is gymnastics, and you jump around and you swing from this bar to that bar, and you go and you love to see the people get on the trapeze and swing around like swinging in trees, huh? And you said that we have tails, and now you have revealed that many of your people are born with an extension of the spine. An extension of the spine is a tail, isn't it? And then, of course, you say that the black people, we were eating each other, we're cannibals and so forth. But history will dictate that that is not something that is known among dark-skinned people. But when you get in hard times, when you are in bad shape, you will quickly turn cannibal. In fact, there are cases, and you have some of y'all serial killers that ate people. In fact, one of the tastiest flesh that y'all like to eat is dark-skinned people. Ain't that something that Jeffrey Dahmer done? He's a Caucasian person. And in your rituals, your secret rituals, and people are missing all the time because you are murdering them in your rituals, and you're practicing witchcraft, and you're drinking blood, and you're eating people. But the dark-skinned people are the savages. And you're the civilized person. You're the civilized person, and you don't even know your sex. You don't know whether you're male or female. And you prey on your babies, little children, and commit sex acts. You pedophiles. Pedophiles running wild. Your men love men and your women love women, or you transgender and you love anything you can get your hands on. Wow. But the dark-skinned people are the savages. Really, really, really. Going back to the cannibal thing. What is it else that y'all love to eat? And I'm not going to try to be filthy and nasty, but this oral sex thing, you eat with no salt and pepper, just straight, no kind of seasoning. Well, sometimes I think y'all use jelly or peanut butter or something. I'm not into that freak stuff that y'all created. Your other slaves, they can get into that, copying you and look so stupid. Because, see, really, they don't know, but they are of the civilized and have always been civilized. Or what was seen as savage really was in correspondence with the nature of their surroundings and their evolution at that particular point in time. They were not part of industrialization and slavery. And here are the civilized people, but you can't avoid endless war as long as you have been and people have known who you are. The only thing that you can represent is endless war. How many wars do you have going on right now? Dropping bombs and murdering women and children and the elderly. and animals and anything you can get your hands on. You would take a gun and a knife or a bow or anything and go out, and you don't even need the deer meat or the raccoon meat or the squirrel meat. You just want to go out and kill something. And if that's not enough, then you go out into the streets of a city and you find somebody that looked like me and say, that's cool. Justifiable homicide. I felt like killing somebody. And your brothers and sisters who are in the court say ain't nothing but another animal. Let them go. Nothing but a savage. But really, who is the real savage? The ones who were just in their natural environment trying to live their life, and some sucker come from out of nowhere to make a slave out of them, or somebody who is running around here half naked talking about I'm sexy and I know it. If you really want me, keep kissing. What's that song? If you think I'm sexy and you really know it, come on, baby, let me run around naked and drunk, filled up with drugs, legal and illegal. Who? But you got the nerve to call somebody a savage? Are you serious? Extremely violent. You so violent, even your own people turn on themselves. Within the recent weeks, Caucasian people have shot each other up. Then you're going to talk about, what about black on black crime? What about what you're doing to yourself? And that's just the cases that made national news, because it happens all the time. Because in reality, these who call themselves civilized, you were savage all the time, and still savages to this day. Eat your raw meat. You still like wearing fur of animals, like you did when you lived in caves. And you have the nerve to call yourself civilized because somebody put a 3-piece suit on a dog. It's still a dog. And you are still a savage, no matter how sexy and you know it. Jot down your comments, people. Let's talk about it. Until next time, love, peace, and soul.